So kind of just to kick us off here, you've been a few weeks into your tenure. So what have you really learned about Cedar Rapids so far? What do you kind of takeaways you like, dislike, or stuff like that?
Well, I was originally supposed to begin here in July. And so I am very grateful that I had the opportunity to start early, simply because at this time of year, there's a lot going on within the school district, and just really having that opportunity to get out and to meet with a number of different constituents from all across the district. I am very grateful for so many community members that have reached out to me wanting to set up meetings and help me understand their connections to the school district, having an opportunity to get out and engage with students. As part of Earth Day, I was able to go out and help them, quote unquote, clean up the earth.
Yeah.
And to just see some of their performances and just walk the halls and visit classrooms. That's been wonderful. Also, I've had the opportunity to just begin to meet with staff and understand some of the things that they really value about Cedar Rapids Community School District, as well as what they see as some of the challenges going forward. And so, and just really just jumping in and working alongside the board to be able to tackle some of those.
Yeah, no, of course. It's almost, you got a little bit of a head start. I know initially that start was July, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And kind of just run me through, I know it's very early stages, some of those district goals for the near future.
Well, first of all, the facilities master plan has been a huge conversation piece for the school district, and just really taking an opportunity to understand the original plan that they developed back in 2018, which was passed by the board, and just a huge focus on elementary schools at this particular point. And so just recently at our April 24th board meeting, we had the opportunity to prepare ourselves to move forward with this fourth project, which is going to be the Harrison-Madison project. And we're really excited about the opportunity to have a new construction project to combine both of those campuses. And we still have more work to do with our elementary plan. And while that is underway, it really does kind of lean us into thinking about our broader vision of facilities master plan across the district. And so our next step is really going to be taking a look at our middle schools and possibly high schools.
No, of course, and I just want to touch on the Harrison Elementary build as well. Kind of what was that ultimate reason to steer toward the district side to change plans with that?
Well, it's been an ongoing process, a very iterative process, and again, just a huge amount of layers of input. And so just really appreciate how the board convened different committees to be a part of the conversation, and where some of the most intimate work took place.
Yeah.
And even bringing forward recommendations to the Board of Education, actually back on April the 10th is where we kind of heard the first recommendations. And even at that point, there was no decision made, but there had been a lot of discussions and thoughts about two options going forward at that particular time. The board was very clear that they wanted broader feedback, especially from those school communities, from the Harrison community, their students and their families, as well as the Madison community, including their staff members. And so just great forward thinking on behalf of the board and the team here to schedule those community meetings where people came out and they were able to share their thoughts. I was in the room present, as well as some of the other board members, as well as a survey went out. So if you weren't able to attend the meetings, you could complete the survey. And so we really, of course, there's a lot of love for each of the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And so as a team, we have to start looking for other considerations. So from the data, where could we distill down to what else were we hearing from our constituents? And we really did hear that people were very much believing that students deserved a new building. It kind of was the same standard of what we've seen with Maple Grove and the new trail side that's coming on West Willow. There is also just huge sentiments around to let the school be located where we have a larger population of students. And so when you start taking into more consideration of that, and of course there was an opportunity to think about the historic nature and how we honor the Harrison building. And so it kind of led to a new concept to really take in all of that feedback together.
Yeah.
And it really, when we think about what's best for students, you know, here in Cedar Rapids Community School District, we believe in educating the whole child. another benefit to the Harrison location was the fact of the wraparound services. They have so many daycares. The city rec center is located nearby there as well. And so with all of that considered somewhat of a new vision that really did come from the feedback.
Yeah.
And so therefore the new concept of a new build at Harrison, it just kind of birthed out of the feedback. And I really think it does honor that whole process of getting multiple voices. And again, when you do this, sometimes you start with a small group, 20 and 30 people, but once we kind of broadened and expanded to greater parts of the community, it led us to the new concept.
No, of course. I just want to touch on that as well, because I know there's different opinions on Harrison Elementary. But kind of shifting gears there, of course, there's also that bond measure up on the table. And in your own words, kind of what is your pitch for people to kind of push for that?
Well, what I'm hoping to do as I enter the school district is try to have an opportunity to understand what led the district to some of the conversations that they've had in the past. So that historical context, it would be helpful to me. And at the same time, we are also right on the verge of thinking about a new strategic plan. Our last strategic plan, it expired in 2022. And I've had the opportunity to meet with the Board of Education, and they've laid out what they view as some of the priorities going forward. And one of the huge priorities they have is college and career readiness. I am just thrilled for the opportunity that CityView is going to offer our students, where they can engage with business folks during their school day in the downtown area. They're going to be right in that mix of understanding entrepreneurship and thinking about their future careers. So as we move into talking about our secondary schools, I think a lot of it is going to depend on what I'm hearing during these listening tours about the programming needs, the future hopes and desires for our students.
Yes.
The graduate profile. Who do we want our graduates to be? What type of preparedness do we want them to have when they graduate from our schools? And we will be looking to design our buildings accordingly.
So it will basically be kind of early stages now, looking to see what that feedback looks like and then design around that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Regarding the school choice law that was passed by the state legislature, allowing Iowa families to get those public funds to go to private schools, how do you think that will affect this school district?
Well, we're always going to be advocating for public dollars to be going to public schools. We have the opportunity to educate all of our students here within the Cedar Rapids Community School District boundaries, as well as any of the students that want to opt into our district. Our main goal is to really understand from our constituents, again, the hopes and desires that they have for their students, because we want the choice to be Cedar Rapids Community School District. And that's what we will be working towards as we continue to think about our own enrollment numbers here within our school district. And I do believe that as we're thinking about every learner being future ready, that's why when we're hearing from our families about the experiences that they want their students to have, whether or not that's college and career readiness, or that's hands-on learning, that's coding, robotics, whatever it might be, those are the type of curriculum options that we want to have within our schools, so that we will continue to be the leading choice.
No, of course. And, kind of with that comes those financial impacts. Again, you touched on these certain kind of programs. Do you see that being an issue, or even to your benefit with that going through?
It's always an issue whenever we are diverting funds away from our public schools. Again, we are Cedar Rapids Community School District. Part of our job is to advocate on behalf of our students. We have a number of different needs right here within our own local school district. And so again, working alongside our families so that they understand that their needs can be met right here in their local school district.
But I'd like to touch on the school resource officers as well. So looking at some numbers here and some other stories that we have done over the past years, and more recently about 6 months ago, there's been some issues with school resource officers. So in 2017, 2018, that school year, 54% of those arrests were black students, and then that's 19% of the student body. These are just kind of run through some stats. Fast forward to the first half of this year, there's 61% of black students. They're making up 20% of the student body. So ultimately, kind of my question for you is, where does that responsibility, or more or less the buck stop between the district and the departments as far as that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can take those stats, what you just indicated there, if I'm looking at student achievement stats and I'm looking at the achievement gap among my students that are ELL students or students of color, I'm seeing the same disparities. And so when we're considering disparities as you've laid out here today, I think we have to take a look at the holistic picture of what's happening within our school district. And as we move into the summer months of being able to discuss the SROs with the Board of Education, with our campus principals, it's going to be imperative that we take a look at a comprehensive support for our students. I know that the district has invested quite a bit of interest as well as resources in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and making sure that staff members are being trained, making sure that we're digging into the data, that we're looking at some of the root causes, that we're also understanding what's happening in and inside of the classroom when it comes to our students. And so when we are discussing safety and security, there are multiple roles that each of us that we have to play in ensuring that our students are safe, that they're secure, and they're given every opportunity to be educated within the school day and supported by all of our staff members here in the school district.
No, of course, I just kind of want to round the corners on that as far as these kind of numbers come through. Kind of going on 180 there, do you have anything else you want to add, or anything I missed before we hop off?
Yeah, I mean,
or at least just your time, early time.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was given the opportunity to think about coming to Cedar Rapids Community School District, it was immediately an opportunity to align my vision as a leader. I have a huge passion for all students and just really do believe that we have a diverse community here with rich resources, people who truly care about students. When I ask people, what do you love about Cedar Rapids Community School District? They're going to say one or two things first. Number one, they're going to say we love our staff, our teachers. They're passionate. They love all kids, and they're going to say we love our community. They show up for kids. They care about education. And we have a Board of Education. They're also very passionate about it. Sometimes they may have differences of opinion. And now you have a superintendent also that's coming, along the trajectory of leaders that you've had here in the school district that's also passionate about kids. And so when I think that when you pull all of that together, that we are certainly poised to be able to do remarkable work on behalf of students. And I won't be able to do that work alone. I'll do it alongside all of our community members. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for giving me such a warm welcome here, for extending support and understanding that people want to be a part of this process. And I do believe that that's going to ensure that our students are future ready.
No, of course, obviously a well-earned response, but that's for the students as well. But Dr. Grover, thank you.
Thank you.